You know, more people are probably interested in the fortune of real estate than the fortune of the corner of Wall and Broad. You can understand now a lot of people own homes or want to own homes. So when they get a report like that's out that shows existing home sales looking pretty good, but permits, a sign of future construction, looking at the lowest level we've seen in a year, people start wondering what's really going on. I normally turn to this guy, Own America founder and CEO Greg Rand, an impeccable lead of all things real estate and housing. Greg, good to have you back.
Great to be here. Thanks.
So let me go through this. We get so many pieces of housing data, and I'm wondering where you think we're going with all of the data that we've collated thus far. Are we slipping? Are we stumbling? Is future construction activity a concern to you? What?
No, so we're slowing down, and that's something that's actually probably pretty good. There have been people that have been concerned this year about the prices rising too high. We saw what happened 10 years ago, and what we're getting now is home sales declining a bit. Home prices are going to flatten out and probably not decline, but the rate of expansion of home prices is going to slow down because the market's being healthy. The buyers are getting fed up with the sellers ever escalating their prices. The inventory is tight, but it's going to begin to loosen up. So I feel pretty good about the fact that home builders, whenever you get too close to housing stats and you zoom in too far, you kind of miss the trending. You have to zoom out, and what you see when you zoom out is equilibrium in the market and buyers and sellers behaving in such a way where the negotiation is fair and legitimate, and prices are going to cool off a bit, as they probably should.
All right. If that's the case, though, a lot of people read it at first-time home buyers and how they're doing, how they're faring, and right now you see a lot of homes that are for sale that just sit and sit and sit. Maybe prices are cut to entice those buyers, but for those buyers, it's been difficult. Will it continue to be? Because I guess the view is that moves up the chain.
Right, yeah. So in terms of inventory being tight, you mean, and it being hard to buy? Yeah. It's competitive out there. So they're going to find that there's a lot of other people that are buying. I say be patient, keep looking, pounce on something when it comes. At the end of the day, people who want to get into the market when the market is tight, it is the way it is. The housing market is a beautiful, friction-free marketplace. It's almost always one seller, one buyer. They're haggling out a price, and so if the market wants to expand in terms of prices, it will. If it wants to cool off, it will. Right now, if you're a buyer, you're in a tough spot. If you're a seller, you're in a great spot. That's going to shift over the next few years, and the buyers will be in a stronger position again like they were just a few years ago.
So with the backup in interest rates, now, certainly I can remember when they were a lot higher, but they have been inching higher. A 10-year note now comfortably over 3%. I can remember when it was at least 3 times that, but leaving that alone, for a lot of people, this is sticker shock. Should it be, and how much of a factor will that be?
For home buyers, you're buying a home because you got married. You're buying a home because you had another kid, and you're doing it mainly for lifestyle purposes. So if you could have gotten a slightly lower rate a year ago, who cares? If you're going to get a slightly higher rate next year, but the timing is right, really, who cares? I'm like you. I remember when rates were in the 8s, and I remember when they were in the 15s, but in the 8s and things, they got down to the 6s, and everybody was, jumping for joy because they could refinance for a 6 1/4.
Perspective is everything.
Yeah, so home buying is a beautiful thing. Acquire a home, decide to stay there for a very long time. You're not going to lose, especially if you see anything in mortgage rates below 6.5, you're golden.
And it's jobs. You have jobs, and the market is stable there. That's a good window to have at your back, right?
Yep. And you and I are celebrating almost our 8-year anniversary of being together on here. I came on your show just about 8 years ago during the housing meltdown, and what we said back then is that it was going to recover. If you have a long view, you can see these short-term things as just that, short-term blips on the chart. Have a long-term view. Very, very true. You said it then. It's accurate now. Greg Rand, always good seeing you, my friend. Thank you. Same here. Very much. And that 4.65% average that we were just showing us, Greg was speaking for an average mortgage. Keep that in mind, because I think that's what my wife and I were paying per day when we got our first mortgage. Exaggerate a little bit to make the point. Perspective is everything. It has been far, 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 far higher than that.